What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is Lockport. Let's fish that. Right, ladies and gents, made my way back out to Lockport, place we know to have some big fish. Now here in Manitoba, you're only allowed one rod per angler, except for ice fishing, then you're allowed 2 rods. Now you have seen quite a lot of my rods in different videos. If you've followed my channel for a long time, you've seen some different rods. But today, in this video here, there's one specific rod I want to test out there, something that you've never seen before on this channel. But let's get to the actual fishing. Alright guys, and this is the rod in question. This is a sensation rod. This is my coastal fishing, ocean fishing setup. And the reason why I want to be testing this particular rod out there, right here, you can see there's a little bit of a damage spot on my rod. And the simple reason for that is I used some heavy weights on this rod. When casting it out, I was casting out an entire sardine with a big heavy lead weight, and cast out about 9 times, no problems. On the 10th time, that little crack formed. You could hear crunching sound and the rod cracked. Now the reason why I want to be using this out there today is to figure out whether this rod can still handle big fish, or whether that bit of a crack is enough to render this rod useless. For that reason, I want to go out and target some big fish. So I'm just going to put on a Carolina rig with some garlic chicken. We know there are catfish out here. That's what I want to catch. I'm going to throw it out, see if this rod can handle some big catfish. I'm also using my Daiwa Jupiter series reel on here. This is also surf casting. So this is literally an ocean setup that I want to try and catch some big fish on. So I'm going to get it out there. Let's see if we get anything. Alright, we finally have something on to test the rod with. Feels like a good fish. I did also swap out to a different setup, not using a little egg barrel swivel, egg weight. Changed to a different lead weight, and I'll show you what it is, why my little lead weight kept washing downstream. But it seems like this rod is handling this fish pretty well. I've not yet seen the fish, but it feels nice and decent. Now I've also not set up the drag on this reel because we're using pretty heavy line. There we are. Catfish landed. You can see the lovely circle hook. Got him in the corner of the mouth. Nice and easy to unhook. Let's quickly have a look at this fish. Alright, so let's just get him some oxygen. Nice chunky fish. You can see the red there on his lips. That's from food coloring from all the food he's been eating. Alright, that's 80 centimeters. That's 31.5-inch channel catfish. Nice catfish landed. Let's get him back to the water. Strong kick, and he's off. Alright, so a little rod made it. Now why am I talking about the rod? This little break here, that can render this rod completely obsolete. If that breaks, then the entire rod is useless. I'm telling you about this because I don't want you to be making the same mistake as me. This thing says 2 to 5 ounces. That is the maximum allowed weight on the setup, is 2 to 5 ounces. If you go over 5 ounces, you may make a few casts, but the rod will break. So this is something I want you to learn from my mistakes, but luckily this means that this rod is still good enough to do some fishing. So now we get the fun of just throwing out whatever to see what we can get. And remember, when catching a fish like that, to always check your line. There's going to be quite a lot of slime on the line at the moment, but the line feels pretty fine. It's not serrated or anything, so this should be good. Still using a little circle hook and kind of using a Carolina rig, but I opted to go for a different type of lead weight. Like I said, my little egg weight just got washed down, whereas this little thing kind of grabs into the ground. And added benefit, if there's rocks, this thing helps to bounce it away from the rocks. That's why I'm using that as a little Carolina rig out there. Alright, once again, missed the hook bait. Had a fish grab and go for some cover. So I'm just gonna let some line out. Let's see if this fish maybe swims in a different direction. And the entire setup just popped off. But another good taste that just shows that this rod can handle stress, like getting wrapped around some structure. Now I am using circle hooks, meaning that that hook is probably going to be in the fish's mouth, but that will rust out. Alright guys, so terrible sound on that one, but when I was trying to get the camera on, that fish swam to some cover, it wrapped around the cover, and he broke off. Now I was saying that that is a circle hook. A lot of times when you release the pressure on the circle hook, they tend to pop out. If not, that hook will rust out, so no harm to that fish. Now the good thing about that, having it got stuck, the rod didn't break, that gives me the confidence that this rod can handle the fishing. Alright ladies and gents, thought I'll fish into the night. We've not done a night video out here in Manitoba yet. And I've already managed to lose 3 more fish. And we have a fish on. Now I know it's very hard to see anything with these fake little GoPros. But once we get the fish in closer, we might get to see him a bit better. Another decent catfish. Just brought him in very quickly, so I just wanted him to tire out a bit. Still has 1 or 2 runs in him. Now it's going to be very hard for you guys to see anything, but he's splashing about. There we go, fish in the net. Slightly smaller than the first one, but lovely brown and green on this one. Normally when they get this size they turn completely grey. It's just good to see one with a brownish colour. Let's get him off the hook. Splashing all over the place. Another lovely big channel catfish. Not going to weigh or measure this one. Let's just get him back to the water. They always seem to swim the wrong way first, but off he goes. Alright, ladies and gents, I was busy admiring the northern lights above me and I completely missed that I got the fish on. Feels decent. Now sadly my little camera cannot pick it up, but can already see the northern lights above me. First time fishing while having a solar storm and having some northern lights above me. I know there are a lot of people, especially in South Africa, that would love to see the northern lights. That's the only reason why I'm mentioning it. How blessed am I to be able to do some fishing while having a solar storm. And I think the fish just popped off. Alright, sorry for the false alarm, I'll just rebait. So sad that this little camera cannot pick it up. Alright, this time I think we actually got the fish on. The previous one actually broke off the hook. I think it got wrapped around something again, whereas this time it was quick enough to get to the fish. I don't want to keep going on about the northern lights, especially because I can't show anyone, but it is magical. This fish is only now realizing it's hooked, acting all crazy. Don't even know if you can see the lights on the little lock there in the background. Alright, got him landed. Another decent channel catfish. This one is rather heavy. Maybe get a measurement on him. Alright, that's 81 centimeters. That's 32 inches. Biggest catfish for today. Let's get a weight on him. That's a 16-pound catfish. Not a bad catch. Decent big 32-inch 16-pound catfish. Let's get him back to the water. He didn't want to let go of my lip grip, but he's off. Just needs to find the right direction. I think he's stuck on a rock. Just nudge him in the right direction. And off he goes. Alright, ladies and gents, as expected, the nighttime bite did pick up, and it's a lot easier to find fish during the night than it is during the day, but out here you can find them any time of day. Now the point of this video is to say that if you're only allowed to use one rod, make sure it's a rod that you trust. You don't want to be losing the fish of a lifetime by simply losing that fish or breaking your rod. But all in all, pretty good afternoon and night of fishing, and I want to thank you guys for tagging along. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting subscribe, joining my community. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video or you liked it, please do give it an actual like. Alright guys, but thanks for following on this magical night. And like always, I'll see you next time.